Welcome everybody. So we're looking at the crown chakra this evening. So over the last 7 weeks, we've made our way through all of the chakras and we've made our way all the way up to the crown. So 7 weeks have passed. It's quite incredible, isn't it? And the crown chakra, Sahasrara, translates as 1,000 petaled. And that's why sometimes you can see those images of a lotus flower opening with its petals for the crown chakra. And the crown is our connection to the universe. It's that connection to universal life force energy. So the crown chakra would bring that energy down and it would then nourish the other chakras in the system. It's associated with the color violet. And if you've ever had any healing with that energy, quite often that's a common colour that you would see in your mind's eye. So it's a good colour to decorate any calm, quiet, meditative spaces, because it really helps your imagination and helps the integration of ideas as well. The element is universal consciousness, and the sound is the sound of Om. So we're going to use a little mantra once we've settled. So taking your comfortable seat, don't have to be cross-legged of course, just make sure we're sitting up nice and tall through the spine, and then either closing the eyes or having a soft gaze. So we'll start with those sighing breaths then, inhaling through the nostrils and sighing the exhalation out through the mouth. Letting go. And then allowing the breath to settle, so coming to a comfortable and natural rhythm for you. And we can focus now on all the points of contact where the body meets the earth. So noticing the sit bones, the backs of the thighs, the feet, where the hands rest in your lap. And using the breath with each exhalation, just allowing the weight of the body to soften and surrender into the earth. And from that connection to the earth, we can root down, and on an inhalation we can grow tall, so lengthening up through the spine and out through the crown of the head. The sides of the body also lengthen. We can gently draw the shoulders back and down, creating space at the heart and space between the shoulders and the ears. The chin is just drawing back slightly, so the head is naturally in line with your spine. And then just check we're not gripping or holding onto tension. So the facial muscles are relaxed, the jaw is soft, and the tongue is just gently resting behind your lower teeth. Bring the awareness once more back to the ebb and the flow of your breath, but don't change it. Just noticing if we're using the nostrils, if we're using the mouth to breathe, no judgment. And then following the breath as it moves in and around the body. So noticing any subtle movements of the body as you breathe. And then expanding the awareness of your breath now into the whole body. So experiencing the whole body breathing. We're bringing that life force energy that prana to every cell of our being. So if we wish, we can work with the mantra, which is, I am connected to the wisdom of the universe. I am absolute. I am connected to the wisdom of the universe. I am absolute. And then letting go of the mental repetition and acknowledging the effects of the practice mentally, physically, and emotionally. And we'll join our hearts and our minds with one sound of Om, which is the sound of the universe. It incorporates the past, the present, and the future. So listening and feeling that vibration, the resonance as it fills our rooms, and then we can add our own voice to it. So bring the hands to Anjali Mudra, the prayer position at the heart. And we can either keep the hands here or we can use the arm movements if that's useful. Start taking some deeper breaths in preparation. Inhaling. And into that beautiful sound of unity, we bow in gratitude to yourself for investing this time in your own well-being, but also in acknowledgement and gratitude to each other as we join together, supporting one another as the Kula, the community. Releasing the hands, lifting the head, and gently opening the eyes. Okay, so we're going to start our looseness from lying down. So I'll come and put the music on in a moment. Hopefully that will work. So lie down on your backs comfortably. Decide if you want to have the knees bent or the legs extended away from you. Okay, so we're going to start with some gentle supine stretches. So bring the arms beside you and the palms face down to the floor. So just check that you have even weight from one side of the body to the other. So just make those little adjustments now. On an inhalation, bring the fingertips towards the ceiling. And then continue the arms all the way overhead. So the backs of the hands may reach the floor, they may not, it doesn't matter. You can bring the hands slightly wider. And then as you exhale, lift the arms back up and bring the arms back down alongside the body. So working with the breath, the inhale brings the arms overhead. And the exhale brings the arms back down alongside the body. Now, if you do have the legs extended away from you, we can introduce the legs into this move. So as we inhale and stretch overhead, extending out through the heels, drawing the toes towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, bring the arms back down beside the body. And the next time the arms sweep overhead, just pausing there a moment. So relax the legs. Now, if you have the knees bent, just explore maybe extending them away and see how that feels for the lower back, because we're going to do some diagonal stretches through the body now. So stretching out through the right fingertips and the left heel. And then releasing. Notice the difference, because it does feel quite strange. And now stretching out through the left fingertips and the right heel. And then releasing. So hopefully that's evened you up a little bit. And then bringing the fingertips back towards the ceiling. We're going to take hold of the opposite elbows now. So we're framing the chest, and we're going to work those figure of 8 moves. And the other direction. And then bringing the arms overhead towards your crown. So it doesn't matter if the arms are hovering off the floor, you're just getting that stretch, using gravity to give you a little bit extra. Holding here for a few breaths, and then releasing the elbows, bring the arms back down beside the body. And we're going to bend the knees now, bringing the feet flat to the floor. Make sure they're hips width apart. We're going to do our hip bus stops. So we're going to be working gently into the hips. So extending the right foot towards the ceiling. So we've got soft knee, soft ankle. And first of all, we're going to do our little internal, external rotations into the hips, as if you're turning a key in a lock. Nice. And then come to stillness, and we're going to work the ankles. So gently rotating the ankle around. And the other direction. And then point and flex. Spread the toes. And then bring that right ankle down to your left thigh. Just then notice how this feels in the hip. So this is bus stop 1, and we can stay here, just allowing gravity to help us open out into the hip. The second option is just to send that right knee away from you, so you've created a little bit more space there at the hip. And then allow the leg to come back to that natural position. Make sure you're keeping the right foot flexed against the thigh. So we can stay here, or the next bus stop is going to be to float the left foot up, drawing your knees in towards you. So we have some choices here. We can either reach through with the hands and take hold of the back of the thigh, but try not to create tension in the neck and the shoulders for this one. So I actually prefer now just to bring the thumbs underneath the lumbar. So just rocking from one side to the other. You can bring the thumbs underneath you for a bit of support, and that will still bring the knees in, but you choose. If you feel that's too far, just lowering the foot back down to the floor. Okay, we can do this extra stretch across the back of the right thigh if we wish. Draw that left knee towards your left shoulder diagonally. Good. And then releasing. So third bus stop is an option. We can extend the left foot towards the ceiling, making sure that the ankle is over the hip. So you don't want to be pulling on the lower back. Draw the foot towards you. So constantly drawing those toes towards you. So you can just feel that hamstring stretch. Lovely. And then releasing the foot all the way back down, but keep the ankle on the thigh for a moment. Send your right knee away from you again, and just notice that you've created a little bit extra space there at the hip. And then releasing the foot, come back to semi-supine position. Release the hands away if they're underneath you. And even yourself up. So just notice how you're feeling here. And then extending the left foot towards the ceiling now, soft knee. And we'll do those internal, external rotations. Good. And then we can work into the ankle. So rotating the ankle around. And the other direction. And then point and flex. Nice, spread the toes. And then keeping the foot flexed, lowering the ankle down to the right thigh now. Notice how the hip feels on this side. So normally one hip will feel a little bit tighter than the other. So just acknowledging that for you. Option to send the knee away from you, just to explore. And then come back to neutral. So we can stay here at bus stop 1. Option to float the foot up, drawing the knee in towards you. So again, you can reach through, take hold of the back of the thigh, or we can bring the thumbs underneath us. If you want the extra stretch across the back of the thigh, draw that right knee towards your right shoulder. And release. Option to progress to bus stop 3 now, extending the right foot towards the ceiling, drawing those toes towards you, extending out through the heel. Very good. Keep breathing. And then releasing the foot all the way back down. Maybe sending the knee away from you again, exploring if you've created a little bit of space. And then releasing the foot, come back to semi-supine, release the hands out from underneath you, and walk the soles of the feet together, allowing the knees now to open out to the side. So the hands could be resting beside you on the belly, wherever's comfortable. So as we inhale, we're hugging into the midline, drawing the soles of the feet together, drawing the sit bones towards each other. And as we exhale, we soften and surrender. Remember, we can support under the thighs if that's needed. So as we inhale, we hug into the center. As we exhale, we soften and surrender. Making this the last one. Wherever the hands are, we're going to bring them to the thighs now and gently guide the knees back towards the ceiling. So we're coming back to semi-supine. We're going to do our Uttanasana sequence. So this is where we're hugging the knee in towards us. So obviously be cautious if you've got any abdominal issues. We don't want to be hugging in too strongly. So we're going to work on the right side first. Keep the left knee bent. Hug your right knee in towards you. You can hold the back of the thigh or the shin. You're going to keep the left foot on the floor and the head on the floor for the first breath. Inhale through the nostrils. As we exhale, sigh out through the mouth, hugging the knee in strongly. Inhaling. So the second time we do this, you do have the option to lift the head, bringing the nose towards the knee. And then releasing down. The third time we do this, you do have the option to extend the left leg along the floor, but keep it active so the foot is flexed and you're drawing the back of the thigh and the back of the knee towards the floor. And then releasing the foot back down. Now we're going to go to the other side, so hugging your left knee in towards you. Remember, first time we keep the right foot flat on the floor, the head on the floor. Inhaling. Second time, option to lift the head. Inhaling. And on the last time, we have that option to extend the leg along the floor. Keep it active. And releasing. Bring both knees in towards your body now. So gentle rocks from side to side. And then come to stillness. So we'll do 3 full Uttanasanas. You can decide if you want to lift the head on any of these or not. So when you're ready in your own time. When you've finished, you have 3 choices to come up to seated. So you can either roll to one side and ease yourself up, or you can bring the thumbs underneath the lumbar and rock forwards, or you can cross at the ankles, hold the backs of the thighs, and with the chin tucked in, we can straighten and bend the legs. Option to come into our boat pose, Navasana. So if we're coming into Navasana, you can hold the backs of the thighs. Make sure you're lifting up through the front of the body and the shoulders are back. Keep toning the belly, draw the navel in towards the spine. You can release the arms away if that's in your practice. Lovely. Keep smiling. So there is movement with the breath. We're not a rigid boat here. Nice. And then take a comfortable seat. Well done. Okay, so we're going to work into the neck, that vulnerable area, so there's no forcing here. We're gently working into the neck area. So drop the chin towards the chest, back of the neck long. We'll bring that left ear to the left shoulder, and then the right ear to the right shoulder, and then the chin towards the chest again. Just repeating those little rotations, exploring how that feels in the neck. Then pausing when the chin comes round to the chest, back of the neck long, head heavy, and we'll go in the other direction. So right ear, right shoulder, left ear, left shoulder, and then the chin towards the chest again. Pausing the next time the chin comes round to the chest. And we'll bring the fingertips into the back of the neck to give the neck a nice massage as we lift the head back to neutral. So we have choices for our shoulder rolls. We can either bring the hands to the thighs and work the shoulders that way, or we can bring the fingertips to the shoulders. So the inhale draws the shoulders up, and the exhale draws them back and down. Last one in this direction, pause, and then inhaling, we're going the other direction. And then pause. Now, being cautious of space, we're going to do life force stretch. I'm just going to wriggle across slightly. And we're going to extend the fingertips out to the sides. Lovely, life force stretch. And then flexing at the wrist, push the walls away. Fingertips towards the floor. Push the walls away. Fingertips towards the floor. Life force stretch, drop those shoulders. Lovely, and releasing the hands all the way down to the floor, and just give the shoulders a little roll, a little shimmy. Okay, so I'm going to do some side stretches now. Hopefully we feel we're sitting up nice and tall through the spine. So lengthening up through the right side, inhale. Exhale, ease over to the left. Inhale brings you back, stretching up, and exhale over to the right. So find a comfortable rhythm that suits your breathing. Nice. Remember to root down through the opposite sit bone as we work, so you get that really long stretch through the side of the body. Good. Start to lift the heart if that feels okay. So you're just getting a little bit more into the movement. Good. Notice if you have a tendency to hold the breath or not. We'll do one more to each side. Finishing as we ease over to the right. And then stretch both arms directly up towards the ceiling. So root down through the sit bones and stretch up nice and tall. Lovely. We're going to climb that mountain now. So climbing that rope. You can decide what rewards at the top this evening. And then we're going to take hold, but this time we're going to actually connect the index fingers and the thumb. So we're creating a triangle. Now this is Sahasrara mudra. So it's actually allowing a shower of white light to come down through the crown chakra, and we can bathe in this beautiful white light, energizing the whole body system. Lovely. And then we can bring the hands to Anjali Mudra and lower them to the crown. If that feels too uncomfortable with the hands resting on the crown, bring them to the heart, but draw the shoulder blades onto the back. And just feel that gentle contact here. Don't worry, we're not doing headstands today, just in case you were worried. And then interlace the hands, we'll bring them down to the crown. So we've got that contact there, and we can just work the scalp a little bit over the skull. So this would be headstand preparation. And then releasing the hands down the sides of the face and back to the heart. So there's slight pressure in the hands now as we work the hands forward for our wrist moves. And back in the other direction. Lovely, a little stretch through the inside of the wrist, so fingertips towards the floor, a little bit of pressure with the other hand, nice and gentle. Other side. And then shake it out. Great, we're ready to come up to all fours, so pad up the knees if you need to. So make sure there's space between the fingers, shoulders are over the wrists. We can tuck the toes under, or we can release the tops of the feet to the floor, so you choose. We're going to do our cat-cow move. So first of all, think about toning the belly, draw the navel in, tuck the tail, and the gaze follows the imaginary center line as we arch into our cat pose. As we inhale, relax the belly, stick the tail in the air, start working through the back bend. Lift the heart and lift the eyebrows for cow. Just continue with a comfortable rhythm that suits your breathing. Tuning into how this feels in the whole length of the spine. You may like to close the eyes for this move so you can really internalize what's going on in the body. And you'll notice those slight pauses between the in-breath and the out-breath. Okay, making this the last one, we're going to come to stillness and have a little bit of work stretching through the hamstrings. So stretch back through the right leg, toes to the floor, extend back through the heel. So you can just feel that engaging, feel that stretch, good. And then bring the knee back. We'll do that on the other side. So left leg back, toes to the floor, extend back through the heel. Good. And then bringing that knee back. We're going to progress it just to Ardha Hanumanasana. So stretch back again through the right side. But this time we can release the toes if they're tucked on that left foot. Walk the hands back, walk the foot back, keep the knee lifted. So it's quite a nice hamstring stretch, this one. I like it. Hopefully you do too. Good, and then walking back to all fours. Stretch back through the left hamstring. Again, release the toes if they're tucked, and then walk the hands back, walk the toes back, keep the knee lifted. Lovely. And then come back. Okay, lunges. We're going to get a little bit of work in the quads now. So stretch forward with the right foot. Knee over the ankle. Hug into the midline. Tuck the tail, and as you tuck the tail, you should feel that lengthening in the quad with a smile. Good. Stepping back. We'll stretch back and then stretch forwards or step forwards with the left foot. Again, check the knees over the ankle, foot flat on the floor. Tuck the tail, and it's when you tuck the tail you feel the stretch. Lovely. And then stepping back to all fours. Okay, we're going to do a modified Vasisthasana now. So we're going to bring the right foot to the edge of the mat. So you can have the toes tucked or the foot released to the floor. And we're going to bring the left foot in line with the knee, in line with the wrist. So you're coming into one line on the mat. We're going to come up to the fingertips on that left hand. So we can stay here, or we can think about stacking the hips and bringing the hand to the hip now. So this lower leg is our picture stand. So you can move it around as far as you need to get balance. Absolutely fine. Roll the shoulder. We can look towards the ceiling, and if we wish, we can extend the arm up, spread the fingers. If we have our balance, we can even float the leg up, flexing at the foot, so extend out through the heel, star pose. Nice. So you need to have a fixed gaze and a steady breath. Nice. Releasing the foot down, releasing the hand down. Come back to all fours. We're going to do that on the other side. I'm just going to turn around so I can see. So we're going to bring the left foot to the edge of the mat now. Right foot in line with the knee, in line with the wrist. Come up to the fingertips of the right hand. Option to bring the hand to the hips. So you're stacking the hips, one on top of the other. Roll the shoulder. Extending the arm up. Looking towards the ceiling. If we have our balance, we can float the leg up for star. Nice. Keep that gaze fixed and the breath steady. Lovely. Very nice. Releasing the foot down, releasing the hand down. Bring the knees slightly wider, release the toes, and ease yourself back for child's pose. So the forehead comes down, hands are forwards. Or if you need a higher position, you just draw the elbows back towards you, so you're on the forearms. Okay, so from there, we're going to come up into our downward facing dog. We'll do it in stages. So if you come up to all fours, tuck the toes, lift the knees, hug into the midline. So that gives you that support here before we power back. Now power back, bringing the head in line with your arms. Keep the knees bent, send the sit bones towards the ceiling so you get that flat back. Then you can extend one heel and then the other towards the floor. So you're working these hamstrings again. They might not touch, but that's where you're working. You're drawing them towards the floor. And then come to stillness, hug into the midline, lift the kneecaps, melt and soften the heart towards the floor, coming into down dog. Nice. From here, we're going to walk the hands back towards our feet, coming into Uttanasana. So if you need that higher position, bring the forearms up to the thighs, remember. We're okay, we bow. So root down through your footprints, send your sit bones towards the ceiling, straightening the legs a little. And then if the fingertips reach the floor, leave them there. If not, bring them to the shins or the thighs. Inhale, lengthen forwards, halfway lift. Exhale and bow. So you might notice the belly is a little bit closer to the thighs. So do that again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, and we bow. Bring the hands to your hips. Draw the shoulder blades onto the back. Lift the chin, and as we inhale, bring yourself all the way up to standing. Lovely. So we're going to do a little breathing practice, which is our tree breath. And to start with, we're going to come into Tadasana. Actually, I'm going to stand back a bit. And we're just going to find our center of balance. So from here, we're going to rock forwards and rock backwards. Obviously, if you need some furniture to hold on to, absolutely fine. And then we're going to go around in circles. So just gently, all four corners of the feet, we're just finding the edges of the feet. And then come to stillness. So you'll find that center, and when you do, I want you to visualize that you're sending roots down into the earth. Lovely. And then we'll bring the hands to the heart center. So as we inhale, we're going to reach up for the sun, and we're going to make that mudra where we connect the index finger and the thumb, and we're going to bring it above the crown. Good. Exhale, we reach for the earth, bring the palms together. Inhale, we invite earth's energy into the body. So we come up to the heart. Exhale here. Inhale, we expand and we grow. Exhale, we invite healing light into our whole being. So we're going to repeat this a few times. Inhale, we reach for the sun, make the mudra. Lovely. Exhale, we reach for the earth, palms together. Trace that center line as we inhale, bringing earth's energy into the body. Exhale. Inhale, we expand and we grow, palms together. Exhale, we invite healing light into our whole being. Inhale, we reach for the sun. Exhale, we reach for the earth. Inhale, we invite earth's energy into the body. Exhale. Inhale, expand and grow. Exhale, invite healing light into our whole being. We'll just do one more. Inhale, we'll thank the sun. Exhale, we'll thank the earth. Inhale, we accept earth's energy into the body. Exhale. Inhale, expand and grow. Exhale, invite and accept healing light into your whole being. Close the eyes a moment. Notice your contact with the earth. So notice your footprints. Hopefully you feel very stable, very steady. Releasing the hands and opening the eyes. Okay, so we're nicely warmed up for some sun salutations. Some Surya Namaskar. I'm just going to turn my heater off, it's getting a bit hot. Come come to the top of your mat. So you've got space to move into. And we'll bring the hands to the heart. Okay, inhaling, reach for the sun. Exhaling, reach for the earth. Inhale, lengthen, sides of the body long. Exhale and bow. Inhale, step back, right foot in the lunge. Knee can be lifted or down on the floor. Hug into the middle. If we have our balance, we can bring the arms wide. Lovely. Release the hands down, release the knee down and stretch back. So have a stretch through the spine and the arms. Then lift the knees, lift the sit bones, keep the knees bent and then straighten the legs for down dog. Exhale brings us to plank. You might need to wriggle. Lovely. Lower down to the floor. So back bend of your choice. So either our Sphinx pose or our Cobra. With an inhalation, we come up, and as we exhale, we lower. Tap the toes, push yourself up and back for that stretch, lengthening through the arms. Toes are tucked under. Lift the knees, lift the sit bones, straighten the legs for down dog. Right leg lifts high, so we can open out at the hip here, both arms straight and strong. Look between the hands. As you exhale, lightly float the foot through for the lunge on this side. Make sure the knee's over the ankle. Hug into the center, tuck the tail. You can bring the arms wide. Good. Release the hands down. Lift the back knee, straighten the front leg and bow. Run a stretch. Soften the front knee. Exhaling, Uttanasana and bow. Root down to rise up, palms together. Exhale, lift the heart, back bend. Inhale, palms together. Exhale, back to the heart, resting breath. Inhale, reach for the sun. Exhale, reach for the earth. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and bow. Inhale, step back, left foot lunge. Hugging in. We can bring the arms wide. Release the hands, lower the knee, stretching back. Lift the knees, lift the sit bones, down dog. Exhale, plank, lower down to the floor. Back bend with a smile. Nice. Exhale, we lower, tuck the toes, pushing back. Lift the knees, lift the sit bones, down dog. Left leg lifts high this time. Look between the hands, exhale, lightly float the foot through for our lunge. Hugging in, good, tuck the tail, bring the arms wide. Release the hands down, lift the back knee, straighten the front leg and bow, run a stretch. Soften that front knee. Exhaling, Uttanasana and bow. Root down to rise up. Back bend, lift the heart. Palms together. Exhale back to the heart. Resting breath. Inhale, reach for the sun. Exhale, reach for the earth. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and bow. Inhale, step back, right foot lunge. Hugging in, we can bring the arms wide. Release the hands, release the knee. Stretching back. Lift the knees, lift the sit bones. Down dog. Exhale to plank. Lower the knees, come down to the floor. Back bend with a smile. Exhale, we lower, tuck the toes, stretching back. Lift the knees, lift the sit bones, down dog. Right leg lifts high. Look between the hands, exhale, lightly float the foot through, hugging in, tuck the tail, bring the arms wide. Lovely. Release the hands, lift the knee, straighten the front leg and bow, run a stretch. Soften the knee. Exhale, Uttanasana. We bow, root down to rise up. Back bend, lift the heart. Inhaling and exhale back to the heart. Okay, inhale, reach for the sun. Exhale, reach for the earth. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and bow. Inhale, step back, left foot lunge. Hugging in, tuck the tail, bring the arms wide. Release the hands. Lower the knee. Stretching back. Lift the knees, lift the sit bones. Down dog. Exhale, plank. Lower to the floor. Back bend. Exhale, lower. Push yourself back for that stretch. Lift the knees, lift the sit bones, down dog. Left leg lifts high. Look between the hands. Exhale, float the foot through. Good, hugging in, tuck the tail. Bring the arms wide. Lovely. Release the hands, lift the knee. Straighten the front leg and bow. Soften the front knee. Exhale, Uttanasana and bow. Root down. Rise up, palms together. Exhale, lift the heart. Inhaling and exhale back to the heart. Close the eyes just for a moment. Just noticing the quality of your breath, the heartbeat, any fluctuations of the mind, the temperature of the body, and your contact with the earth. So releasing the hands, feel how you're rooted to the spot. After our sequencing, we're going to do our tree balance now. So you can decide which side we work with first. If you want to come near to a supporting wall or piece of furniture, please do. Okay, so decide which is going to be your trunk first for your tree pose. And you're going to spread the toes and create a larger surface area. Okay, we're going to open up the hip with the other leg. So you're going to try and bring the foot around 90 degrees and bring the toes to the floor to start with. So that's quite a strong hip opener. We was working with the hips to start with. If that's not quite there yet, then obviously the knee's going to be a bit further forwards, but we're going to work with that once we're lifted. So from here we can bring the arms out as branches. Fix the gaze. So you want to have the head lifted. We don't want the head dropped. Head is lifted. Fix the gaze. Steady the breath. And float the toes from the floor. So just see how balance is today. Now if we move, absolutely fine. We don't want to be rigid. There is movement in our balance. If we have balance today, we have the option to bring the foot either to the side of, below the knee or to the thigh. Because we're going to hug into the center, we don't want to be pushing into the knee. So either above or below the knee. As you hug in, you might find that's useful for your balance. You can do the same with the hands. If you prefer, you can have the arms wide for branches. Root down through your foot to get lift in the body. And we're going to bring the hands to the crown, just lightly resting on the crown. You can't see, it's just out of camera view. But you can just feel that light touch on the crown. Draw the shoulder blades onto the back. So don't worry if there's movement. There's a breath and energy moving through the body. They look lovely. Very nice. Good. Releasing the hands down. Releasing the leg down. Oh, and give the legs a shake. Well done. They look good. Okay, we're going to do the other side. I'm going to move back a bit just so you might be able to see my hands on my crown. Maybe not. Doesn't really work too well, getting the whole of the body in. So spreading the toes, opening up the foot in that right angle. So you're sending the foot out to the side. Okay, arms out as branches, lift the head, fix the gaze, float the toes off the floor. So see how balance is first. And we can bring the foot higher if we want to, creating that action of hugging into the center. We can do the same with the hands, root down to lengthen through the sides of the body. Bring the hands to the heart, good. Option to bring the hands to the crown, or you can just see if I bend my knee. Good. We're going to work with this hip a little bit now. We didn't do this on the other side, but to get a little bit of opening on the hip, we'll do the same as we did in reclining cobbler. Draw those sit bones towards each other as you hug into the midline with the hands and the foot against the thigh. Just gives you a little bit more opening in the hip. Nice. Good. Keep breathing. Release the hands and release the foot. And give the legs a little shake. Oh. Okay, so our next move, if you have a yoga block, you might want to grab your yoga block, or if you have your household prop that substitutes, either a book or cereal box or whatever it was we had in one of our other classes. So we're going to come to a wide leg position now on the mat, having the feet parallel to one another. So we're going to be working a little bit into the inner thighs. Okay, we're going to place the block down. So you can go either way on the block. It's really just to see if we can get the hands down to the floor to start with. So I'll put mine that way, I think. So bring the hands to the lower back. Roll the shoulder blades onto the back. Lengthen through the spine and begin to hinge forward. So we're only going to come halfway to start with. And see how that feels. Okay, pause. Lovely. So keep the back flat as we release the hands down to the block or to the floor. So we're not rounding in the spine. We're going to lean forwards as we bring the weight into the balls of the feet. And then we rock back, bringing the weight into the heels of the feet. Good. So you can just feel that gently stretching out the legs, but we're not forcing. We're just gently rocking out. Getting a little bit of length. Nice. Lovely. And then come to stillness. And we're going to bow the head and bend the elbows. So we're just releasing into a hanging forward fold. So rather than have the hands dangling on your block or on the floor, you can actually hold the elbows and just see how that might be. If you have your balance, then that's fine. If you need to hold on to the floor, then obviously do that. Okay, we're going to come back to our block or the floor, and we're going to rock out again. So just bringing the weight forwards and backwards, and forwards and backwards. Now, if you feel that you've got a little bit more stretch in the legs, you might want to bring the toes out and then the heels out. So you've just got a little bit more stretch on the legs. But if you have already gone to your extreme, and obviously that's not possible, make sure if you lift your toes, you spread the toes as you place them back down. So you've got contact with those little toes on the floor. Okay, option now then, releasing the head down. So you may, with your blocks there, you can have it in this position, be able to rest the crown onto the block. Or possibly, who'd have known, get down to the floor. So again, we're just holding here for a few breaths, and the hands are on the floor. If the head's down, we're in that sort of tripod position, so you're supporting the neck. There's no weight through the head here, you're using the arms to support you. And then lifting up, rocking forwards, rocking backwards. And then bring the heels in and the toes in, so you're back to that original position. Stretch forwards through the spine. Good. Bring the heels in and the toes in, the heels in and the toes in, until you get to Uttanasana, our forward fold, and bow. So now you can feel this in the hamstrings. We're going to come up now. We're going to take it carefully because the head's been down for quite a while. So bring the hands to the hips, draw the shoulder blades on flat, lift the chin, inhaling. Bring yourself all the way back to standing. Nicely done. I bet you can feel that in the legs. I can. Okay. Where are we going from here? Oh, time's just whizzing by as it normally does. Okie dokie then. So we're actually going to come down to the floor, believe it or not, and we're actually going to begin to do some inversions. So we'll start to cool down a little bit. Is that really the time? I don't believe that. Okay. So we're going to send the legs into the air, and we can bring the hands underneath the lower back. So this is our inversion. Just draw the toes towards you, extend out through the heels. If you do have the wall there or the sofa, you do have the option to use a prop, I don't mind. If it's okay, we're going to bring the legs wide for a wide leg stretch, extending out through the heels. And then bringing the feet back towards the ceiling, stretching up. Very nice. Bending the knees. Release the hands out from under you and bring the hands to the knees. So we have options. Either we can do small circles, just working the lower back, or we can do our frog's legs moves. So bring the big toes to lightly touch and work the knees wide and then in towards the middle. Pause and then work the legs in the other direction. Pausing, just releasing the feet down to the floor and walk the feet as wide as your mat now. So bringing the fingertips towards the ceiling, we're going to spread the fingers, have the palms facing each other and the wrists over the shoulders. Inhale, lift up through the right fingertips, the shoulder lifts. Exhale, anchor the shoulder back down to the floor. Inhale, lift up through the left fingertips, the shoulder lifts. Exhale, anchor the shoulder back down. And then gently bring the arms down to the floor. So if you have room, you'll bring them out to the sides in that T shape. If we're a bit short on space, we come into cactus arms. So we just bend at the elbows. Either is fine. Just make sure you feel the shoulders have got good contact with the floor. So as we exhale now, allow your knees to roll over to the right hand side, coming onto the outer edge of your right foot, the inner edge of your left. If the neck feels okay, turn to look towards your left fingertips. Sighing breath here, find a sense of softness and release. Inhale brings us back to center. Exhale, lower the knees to the left and the head can turn to the right if the neck feels okay. Again, 3 sighing breaths. Inhale back to center. We're going to work dynamically now. So as we exhale, lower the knees to the right, the head to the left. On your next inhalation, bringing yourself back through center. as you exhale, lower the knees to the left and the head can turn to the right. So with each inhalation, we come back through center. With each exhalation, we lower to alternate sides. We'll do one more to each side. So finishing as the knees come over to the left. And then come back through center, just drawing one knee then the other knee in towards you, some gentle rocks. And then rolling over onto one side in the fetal position. You can bring the hands underneath the head for support. Take a moment just to notice how you're feeling. So noticing the temperature of the body as we start to slow down our physical practice, and the temperature does reduce quite rapidly, so you might need your jumpers and socks in a moment. So gently make your way to a comfortable seat for our breathing practice, but make sure you're going to be warm enough. I'm going to stop the share on the music now. Doing one of my favourite pranayama practices this evening. We're doing Bhramari, and the Bhramari is a little Indian black bee. So we're doing bee breath. It's quite a calming breath. We're creating that vibration within the skull cavity. So it might not suit everybody. If it feels too strong with the humming, then you can just mentally hum, which is obviously still going to create that vibration, but there's going to be less resonance in the skull. So that's an option, but if it really doesn't suit you, don't worry, you don't have to join in, I won't force you. So there's a few mudras of this one. The first one is where we take the index fingers and we just block off by pushing the fleshy bits of the ears towards the cavity of the ear. So you're cutting off external sound effectively. So when you do that, you really get that internal vibration. You can't hear anything external going on. So we're going to do one breath. We're going to inhale through the nostrils. We're going to have the fingers not in the ears, but just drop gently closing the ears. And we're going to hum. But because we all breathe at different rates, we'll probably finish at different times. So I need you to release the hands down when you've finished, so I can see we've all finished our breath, okay? So we'll do that one together. Bring the fingertips there, inhaling. And it's quite nice, that silence after the hum as well. So I normally leave that a few breaths before I speak. So hopefully that's comfortable for everyone to work with. Obviously, if it's not suitable, you can choose a different breath this evening. You can use maybe 3-part breathing instead if that feels more appropriate. So we're going to use the second mudra now. So this one actually creates a little bit more vibration. And I was going to say actually as well, it's quite nice to close the eyes because it really internalizes the sensation for this breath. So for this one, we bring the thumbs to the fleshy bits of the ears and the fingers just rest over the crown. We draw the shoulder blades onto the back. Again, when we've finished, release the hands down. So I know we've finished the breath. So when we're ready, inhaling. So you might be noticing some sensations now. For me, I tend to get this sort of tingling, numbing in the face, but I quite like it. It's a nice feeling. But it said if you practice regularly, the sense of bliss arises in the heart with this practice. I think it's incredible that we've only done 2 breaths and how much of an effect it has on how the emotions and how you're feeling. I find it very calming. We've got one more mudra to try, which is our 6 gates mudra. So this signifies shutting off the senses. So we bring the thumbs to the fleshy bits of the ears, and we bring the index fingers to lightly cover the eyelids, but not too much pushing. And then we bring the middle fingers to go either side of the nose. That signifies cutting off the sense of smell, but we're not pushing into the nostrils because you won't get your sound coming out. Then the ring finger rests on either along the top lip or wherever's comfortable around the mouth. And the little fingers can just rest wherever is comfortable. So draw the shoulder blades back again. I'll just check everyone's got that. Yeah, lovely. So when you're ready, inhaling. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for relaxation now. So make yourselves comfortable. Make sure you're going to be warm enough. We're going to be using our Sankalpa. So just bringing your Sankalpa to your mind. This is your personal resolve, that intention that you've chosen for yourself. And we sow it in the subconscious mind. If you're not currently working with a Sankalpa, don't worry, you can just enjoy the silence. So when you're settled, just take a couple of sighing breaths, letting go. Feeling calm, feeling peaceful, and feeling restful. So just allow my voice to find you where you are. Don't go out in search of sounds. Just allow my voice to find you where you are. So just taking a moment to send your mind's eye around the body and just checking for any areas of tension. If you need to make adjustments to the position of the body, then do so now. Bring your awareness to your brow center, and with your focus on the brow, we can make our Sankalpa, that personal resolve. So mentally repeating it to yourself 3 times with conviction and feeling. And on completing your Sankalpa, visualize now the crown of the head and the place at the center of the crown. You can visualize a shining lotus with 1,000 petals. And this pure white flower is shining with a luminous light. It is spiritual energy, it is peace, contentment, and comfort. Feel the compassion, the softness. The opening out of the petals now creates within you an opening which allows a stream of pure white crystal mist to flow through the crown of the head and into the body. Feel as though the crown of the head is allowing a stream of pure white light to enter your body. And with this light comes complete surrender. You are now able to let go. Let any restrictions or blockages be released. Recognize that part of you that has been lost or fragmented. Feel the crystal mist now flooding into the whole of your body. As it goes into the arms and the legs, feel the lightness. Feel the whole of the body being released of weight. Release any heaviness, any density, and feel the body sinking deeper and deeper into the relaxation. All you are aware of now is the stillness, the peace, the warmth, and the contentment. And with your mind in this open, receptive state, we can bring that sankalpa once more back to our thoughts and mentally repeat it 3 times with conviction and feeling. As you bring the body back from the visualization, imagine the lotus flower on the crown of the head closing into itself. Be aware of the petals folding back into a bud. Feel the light shimmer until the stillness returns, and allow the body to slowly return. Become aware of the rise and the fall of your abdomen, and start to breathe a little more deeply into the abdomen. As you bring yourself back, slowly start flexing fingers and toes, slight movement coming into the arms and the legs. When it feels right for you, on an inhalation, bringing the arms up overhead and have a nice gentle releasing stretch through the whole body. Keeping the eyes closed, you bring the arms back, rubbing palms together, creating heat in the palms. And there's no need to touch the face. You can hold the hands away from the eyelids. Gently opening the eyes, we can allow that energy and that warmth to flood in. Keeping that soft gaze, release the hands away and take a nice deep breath. Bring yourself back. If you're lying down, bend your knees, draw the knees in towards you, some gentle rocks from side to side. And gently ease yourselves up to a comfortable seated position when you feel ready. Nice. So we'll just finish then with those couple of movements with the breath, just to bring ourselves fully back into our Tuesday evening. So bring the fingertips to the earth, connecting to the earth. Inhaling, palms to the sky, connecting to the universe. As we exhale, we lightly pause at the brow, the throat, and the heart. Once more, inhaling and exhaling. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Peace. Namaste.